Hi everyone, I'm Sam here with LSTV, and we're here with British Paralympic gold medalist Charlotte Evans. So Charlotte, thank you very much for joining us. So you're about to start an hour's talk on overcoming setbacks, part of the Uni Girls campaign. But before we get into that, I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your personal sporting career. So you partnered with Kelly Gallagher in 2010, and have since enjoyed half a decade of success of medals, starting with your silver medal in the 2011 World Championships, all the way up to your gold medal in Sochi in 2014. But obviously for any athlete to win Olympic gold is sort of the pinnacle of their career. So how are you going to keep yourself motivated to keep striving for more success?
I think it's always difficult as an athlete when you reach the point that you've got to the top of where you want to go, and you've worked so hard for 4 years to get to that pinnacle point. It's amazing and it's great, but actually, yes, it's really difficult to stay at the top. I suppose the only way is either stay or come down. So for me, it was a really difficult time after the games to get back into the sport and to have the whole process begin again. So I decided to have a year out, and try a new adventure just for a year, and then kind of go back to skiing. After that, I think 5 years is such a long time to dedicate your whole entire life to somebody else that it's time to kind of relive yourself for a bit and then come back into the sport.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a really good way to sort of like refresh yourself so you're ready to go again. So obviously you're partnered with Kelly Gallagher, and you're sort of her partner ski guide because she's visually impaired. But as skiing is such a fast-paced and in some ways dangerous sport, she must have to place a tremendous amount of trust in you. So how have you managed to sort of like build up such a relationship with her? Because I know you joined with her only late 2010, and within a year you're already winning silver medals. So how have you been able to build up that relationship?
I think, yes, it was only 6 weeks till we got our silver medal at the World Champs, so it was a really good kind of connection straight away, but actually the trust doesn't come till about 3 years in. And at the beginning we were kind of going slow, and it was able to just build slowly. But the actual trust needs to come in when it's at the end, and that's when you're getting up to speed to 75 miles per hour. The trust has to be the whole pinnacle of the whole thing, and it does take ages to build. And actually I'd say that's probably the hardest part of the whole of the kind of job title that I have. It's building that trust and getting somebody to literally put all of their faith into you and to go at any speed that I tell them to kind of go at. But once you've built that and you've got that, it's the best sport you could be part of.
Sure, it's probably a good sign of both your talents then to within 6 weeks to be able to win in World Championship silver medals. So.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to kind of work together with people that you don't know. We kind of got shoved together and was told, you're going to be your partner, you're going to work together, and we are completely different people, completely different personalities, and we kind of clash in a weird way, but now we found a kind of common ground, and we now know who's boss on the hill, who's boss off the hill, and it works perfectly now.
Good dynamic you've sorted out, So as you now look into your future together, what would you say are your sort of both short-term and long-term sporting goals?
My short term, I'm joining a boat for a year, so I'm doing a round-the-world race called the Clipper Race. So my short-term goal at the moment is to complete that. And then my long-term goal is probably to get back in with Kelly and go for the 2018 Games.
We wish you all the luck with all those activities. So moving on to the Uni Girls Can campaign, the reason why you've come up to Leeds. So the aim of the project is to increase female participation rates in sport, and it's based on the national This Girl Can campaign. So as a student at university, when you were a student at university, how important was that experience in allowing you to get involved in sport, but also giving you the strengths to overcome some of the setbacks that you're going to talk about today?
I think girls in sport in general, people have this kind of, I suppose it's because we have the whole separation of women's sport and men's sport, and I think all the time you have that, it's very difficult to make them one kind of sport. In skiing we're quite fortunate that actually it's quite mixed, it is the same, and you're treated exactly the same. However, when I was at university, it was one of them times that you needed to kind of try new sports and try new things, and actually it's the support from the university that changes whether you want to be involved in something or not. I've been to kind of 2 universities. I transferred in my final year, and the first university kind of didn't really understand the whole skiing and kind of working, and then the second university was able to completely cover my needs of what I needed to do and kind of balance the both. So I think it's definitely really important for the university to get behind the athletes or behind the girls to then promote sport and to make it this normal social thing, that
Yeah.
actually it's not a massive divide between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the things that came out of the research study that stimulated the national This Girl Can campaign was that females aren't taking part in sport primarily because of fear of judgment and fear that they will lack competency. So what would you say to some of the girls, and in particular sort of female students at university who perhaps want to get involved in sport but are worried?
Yeah, I think it's always difficult. I think I'm not going to sit here and say going in the gym and squatting more than most of the men in there isn't the best look. But actually, as long as you know your reason and you have your goal of what you want to achieve out of it, you kind of have to put them to one side. I'd think a lot about what other people would think, and actually it's ridiculous because they're probably giving you more respect for actually being in the gym than actually not even trying. So I think choose your goal, choose what you want out of it, and then just go for it and actually enjoy what you're actually doing and make the most of it.
And as a sort of maybe society, how do you think we can look forward in the future to try and reduce the big gaps between female and male participation rates in sport?
I suppose there's lots of ways you can change that. I suppose funding. I suppose when you win things, it's the prize money that makes it the same.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a massive thing. As soon as you start giving people the chance to realise that this is the same, then you'll gain the respect for that. I think people lose respect due to the fact that they already go, oh, well, it's just a girl's sport or it's just a man's sport. And actually, anybody can be part of any sport.
Yeah.
It's actually just making that association okay.
Yeah. So Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. And the last question that we're going to ask you, which is what we've been asking everyone this week, is what is the one thing that you can now do that you never thought you could do before getting involved in sport?
Oh, wow. Probably socialise and do speeches. So this would be my kind of idea of hell, I suppose, before this, before the games. If somebody said stand up in front of a group, I'd say no way. I'd happily sit in the back and kind of blend. But actually, yeah, you learn a lot from sport. You learn how to socialise, you learn how to meet new people, and actually it gives you a whole step in life that I think a lot of people don't really get if they're not part of sport. So.
Sort of more than actually being competent in sport, life skills as well.
Yeah, I think life skills are probably more important than the actual competence of sport because it can give you so much back. You can meet a lot of people and you can be part of a team.
Yeah.
Admittedly, skiing's an individual sport, but you are still a team and you still work as a team, and I think that's where the relationships will always grow and always be kind of there. So I think, yeah, get involved in sport. It's good fun.
Charlotte, thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck with your talk.
Thank you very much.